I'm going to talk to you about something in every woman's emotional life that is important and usually ignored. You may not be aware of it, even though it's relevant for you. And because it's relevant for every woman, it's definitely relevant for every one of her partners as well. So if you think about the four main emotions, they are happiness, anger, sadness, and fear. Now, there are so many different kinds of emotions with all kinds of nuanced descriptions: hesitancy, rage, terror, uncertainty, openness, whatever. There are so many. We know we feel something, but it's hard to name it. And so just having a list of the different words that describe emotions can be quite helpful. But for the purposes of this conversation, I want to establish that there are kind of four main emotions, and all of the other nuanced, incredible emotional terrain, they all are a version of happiness, anger, sadness, or fear. For each of us, when we get triggered, when something happens that it catches us off guard, or it's something we are dreading or we didn't expect, or it brings up shame or guilt, whatever it is, it triggers us and it causes us to kind of shift inside. No one really is triggered and then experiences happiness. But every time a moment like this happens, you do have default emotion. Someone will do or say something and it triggers you and you go straight into anger. Doesn't mean you express it, but that's your default response. For me personally, my default response is sadness and grief. Now, when I get triggered, there are lots of times where, yes, my response is anger or fear, but when it's something that is deeper, it's likely to be grief. So I just want to kind of lay this out, that we have emotions that we may or may not be aware that we're feeling, but they're always present, lurking, ready to amplify and influence us more. And while the main emotions are happiness, anger, sadness, and fear, there's a fifth one, a kind of step cousin, that is not usually talked about and is the one I want to focus on for the rest of this episode. And that is disappointment. Disappointment is sort of a mild word. Like, it's one thing to really avoid getting angry or avoid feeling afraid, but to avoid feeling disappointment, that doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. And yet, disappointment is one of the most insidious emotions. It's like a silent, invisible, toxic gas that can flow into the room and show up wherever there's empty space. So why do I say this? Well, let's say you tell your husband you'd like to have a romantic dinner, and he nods and forgets about it. Or he sets it up, but it just doesn't feel romantic to you. There are a million ways in which you can ask for something, and even if you're getting it, it's not satisfying because you don't get exactly what you want. And there is an epidemic of women who feel disappointment but think it's not important enough to put any attention on, and therefore just focus on other things. Like, chances are, during your honeymoon, something happened and it was disappointing. So what do? You just adjust and you don't get your hopes up, because experiencing disappointment is just so uncomfortable. And I used to think, disappointment, what's the big deal? Why would this even be something to do a whole podcast episode on? Well, it's a big deal, because a little bit of disappointment here and a little bit of disappointment there, it's what trains us to tolerate and compromise and put up with, because it's easier to just do it yourself rather than include your partner and risk disappointment. Disappointment, it's like, you remember the fairy tale where there's a pea with another 30 mattresses on top, and it's the princess who has an uncomfortable night's sleep because she can feel that pea. All of us are princesses, and sometimes it's a boulder, but a lot of times it's a pea, and we feel it. We feel the disappointment that makes it hard to really trust our partner. If this touches you, make a point of asking for all of what you want. Because if you don't ask for all of what you want, there's absolutely no chance you're going to get it, and you're going to live with disappointment. And that creates barriers to intimacy and disconnection and more blandness between the two of you. If this is something that you realize is relevant, if you are a woman whose life is not defined by a fullness and satisfaction where you know what you want and you're comfortable asking for it and you gladly receive it all, experiencing intimacy, pleasure, connection, well, I invite you to join me in Marital Pleasure for Women. It's starting October 13th. Go to alexandrastockwell.com/pleasure for all of the logistical details and to read that Marital Pleasure for Women is really for the educated, successful, high-achieving woman professional who knows how to get things done, take responsibility, have vision, move forward, make progress and goals. And you want to enjoy your life more, to relax into pleasure and intimacy. You want to stop avoiding the disappointment and learn how to know what you want, ask for it so it feels good to give it to you, and learn how to experience pleasure and satisfaction, whether you're getting all of it right now or not. That is an internal shift that I will teach you to make so that you're not held hostage by disappointment. Does it mean the people around you are going to suddenly become angels and heroes? No, it does not. But you have the opportunity to change your relationship to disappointment and to be more sovereign in creating and savoring and enjoying pleasure in your life, whether you're listening to a concert, smelling a flower, or making love in the most delectable ways. So go ahead to alexandrastockwell.com/pleasure. The details are there, and I can't wait to connect with you, hear your story if you want to share it, and teach you how to take off the shackles of disappointment and all together live in more happiness and joy, dialing down anger, sadness, and fear.